So I'm very excited today to see if I can talk about our company worldwide. So Diagnos is a AI company, and we specialize really on medical imaging. And our first application is actually using the back of your eye, so the retina, to monitor 6 types of different diseases. And this is what I'm going to show you today. A disclaimer. So who we are, we're a small company based outside of Montreal. We have 20 employees. We're a very technical shop. Our application is a cloud-based application, so there's no hardware that we sell. It's just a software service. We built the whole platform ourselves. And like I said, we have a very technical staff. We use all the state-of-the-art technologies in the AI world, deep learning, and all of the new buzzwords, but we do not use regenerative AI. So the artificial intelligence algorithms that we have are really traditional algorithms that are made specifically for very robust analysis of certain applications, such as the medical applications. We have regulatory approvals. We've done about 400,000 patients worldwide to develop our database of knowledge to actually use in terms of turning the prototype into a production release. And our software is now in production. So we are actually getting recertified in Canada, the US, and other places, because we've actually gone from 1 test to a potential of 6 tests. And I'll show you these tests after. So what we do is we analyze the back of your eye, so called the retina. So the image on the left side is a real picture of a retina. And what we do to the retina, we actually take a lot of measurements inside the retina. We look at the disease, so the yellow stains and the purple stain. And you'll see a darker circle right in the middle of the screen. So that's actually your center of vision. So if you are diabetic or suffering from hypertension or other disease, you need to protect this area. Any disease that goes inside the dotted lines around the dark circle will actually be a very critical patient and needs to be referred to a retina or ophthalmologist, a retina specialist or an ophthalmologist. Very, very important. Second thing we do is, because in the eye you have blood vessels, so we have arteries and veins. So we actually take the time to measure the arteries and veins to come up with very specific medical ratios that doctors look for. That's very important. And then the darker yellow circle is actually where all your blood vessels are going to your brain. So that's the optical nerve that is there. So we can monitor, example, glaucoma from this angle that you see right now. We look for many types of different variables. The picture on the left is called a fundus picture. So it comes out of a fundus camera. And from the fundus camera, you can have, you can see retinal images, exudates, cotton wool spots, etc. And from there, you actually have a real diagnostic of what's happening in the back of your eye. The bright green image below it is a different camera, and it actually takes the measurement in the thickness of this yellow membrane that goes halfway to your eye, bottom to the top. If you have disease that we find on a 2D perspective, the disease, if it's bad, it will actually go into this membrane. It's very important to have this picture taken before you get injections in your eye. So what we do is we analyze all of this for doctors and optometrists worldwide. I've been talking about the 6 tests. So the first test that we had was for diabetic retinopathy. So we built a whole platform around diabetes. But what we noticed last year is that because of COVID and so forth, a lot of the government had pushed off their programs to monitor and screen diabetics. We also won a very big contract that I'll talk about in a few minutes, where they needed more tests. So we decided to change our ISO certification to be able to offer 6 tests on our platform. The result is that we will have a general retinopathy test. So this is a test that will say to a patient, you have disease or you have no disease. And at that point, the optometrist or the doctor can run another test. For example, if you're not diabetic, It could be a hypertensive retinopathy. So you'll run a test for hypertension, or it could be AMD, glaucoma. So these 5 tests come from the same camera. Today, we have in progress, we have submitted to Health Canada the first 4 tests: a retinopathy for the general public, diabetic retinopathy for diabetics, hypertensive retinopathy for hypertensive patients, and also AMD. We actually should have the Health Canada approval probably in the next 30 days, we hope. We don't know, but we should be very close to that. Glaucoma and the OCT, the next 2 will be done in our first quarter next year. So it gives us a lot more potential to work with the different governments, and also our new market with optometry. Now, the size of the market is very big. I mean, the optometry market plus the government markets, it's evaluated about $11 billion on a yearly basis, where you can actually have diagnostics done to patients and clients. So the industry now is all digitized. All these cameras exist at the optometry level, government level. So there's no hardware to buy in our environment. We're looking at up to 40 million imaging retina tests on a daily basis worldwide. Second thing is the increased number of eye exam. The population is getting older, and the older you are, the more you're prone to get a visual test on a basis of about 2 years per test. And once you have eyewear, then your vision needs to be examined every 2 years to make sure that you see 100%. And also, the last one is that there is a shortage of ocular specialists worldwide, and that's why a tool like ours is very important to help increase the productivity of the existing ocular specialists. Now, we have our primary market is the optical stores, or optometrists, opticians, and there's different names for the same work. So primary market, because we came out of I don't know if everybody remembers COVID, so all the government shut down, so we had to really reinvent ourselves. So we took our technology and actually adapted it to the optical stores, the optometrists, to help them do a much better job at actually looking at the diseases that there is inside your retina. And so 2 things. So that's very important. So quantitative, meaning the number of patients you can do on a daily basis. We can increase the number of patients for an optometrist, meaning more revenue for them. It's also a recurring revenue model. Once you go to a store and you start actually reading your retina or doing the analysis or diagnosis, you will be going to the same place every year or every 2 years to actually monitor your vision. Qualitative, well, we increased the value per customer in terms of providing them a report that is very important. Right now, you go see your optometrist, you spend $140, he doesn't give you anything. You leave, you go home, and that's it. In our case, we actually have a report, 3-page report, that we give to the optometrist that he gives back to the client. And also, our application is very user-friendly. Active business, so we have signed an agreement with New Look in Canada. It's an 8-year contract. So this contract will start, has already started. We have about 90 stores installed on the 450 stores. But when we have confirmation of Health Canada, the acceleration next year, we think we're going to be probably doing another 400 stores. So we will be doing all the stores of New Look next year, 8-year contract. Maghrabi is an ongoing prospect for us in Saudi Arabia. And we've been working with the government there for many, many years. We also signed a deal with EssilorLuxottica, who is the largest player in the optometry world. They did a request for proposal worldwide, and Diagnos won the deal about 9 months ago. But in the deal, we had to change certain things in our ISO certification to get more tests, as I mentioned before. So EssilorLuxottica is a 3-year distribution agreement with them. They monitor about 300,000 stores worldwide. Our secondary market is really going back to the hospitals and clinics that we were doing. So secondary market clinics are dedicated to, for example, diabetes, also governments. So before COVID, most of the governments had screening programs for their diabetics. It went away, but now it's starting to come back. The first one back is the Quebec government issued a request for proposal last summer. The first one was in 2020. It got shut down because there was only one supplier bid, that was us. So they did another one this summer and they received 3 bids. So that way, now it's all, conform to their processes. It is to screen 1.1 million diabetics in the province of Quebec over 5 years. For us, it's a $20 million deal, and we think we're going to win this thing in the next quarter. Mexico has been ongoing. We work with the government there. Because of change of government, there's been no revenue for the short term, but we see the signs that they want to reactivate the programs. Saudi Arabia, we're very close to signing a deal with the Saudi government, and that's going to be something happening in the next 3 to 4 months through a PPP. Our revenue model is very simple. We charge a per patient fee of $5 per test. So if you want a general test, it'll be $5. You want to have a hypertension test, it will be $5 also. So New Look has 1,100 optometrists in the whole network. So we're looking at potential revenue on a yearly basis of about $12 million. Governments and clinics, So the total worldwide market is enormous because there's a lot of potential optometry stores. They will be served by EssilorLuxottica because we gave them an exclusivity. Government is still ongoing. A lot of governments have stalled, except for the Quebec government. I think they're the first one to start. We see now RFPs coming out from other governments worldwide. Our potential growth, well, we believe that we're ready for growth. Instead of 1 application, we have 4 in final approval right now in Health Canada. I think the expansion of our product line makes a huge difference, going from 1 to 6 tests. And we're actually working on our sales and marketing readiness. We signed the deal with EssilorLuxottica, and we have to train their salespeople. To give you an example, in Canada, they have 130 salespeople. We don't pay for them. They actually work with the margins that they make, and they pay their own salespeople. Our responsibility is to train them and work with our marketing staff. For somebody who doesn't know who Essilor is, I just put a little slide there. So it's a 25 billion euro company. They are worldwide. They own brands everywhere in the world. In the US, they have LensCrafter, Pearl Vision, Vision Source, et cetera, et cetera. So we have a 3-year deal going into this huge market that will start after we have our Health Canada approval. And Health Canada approval is based on their specifications, by the way. Our financial outlook, so our next fiscal year, we're looking at doing $4.5 million with an EBITDA of $1.5 million. Our second year, we're going to go from 4.5 to 26 million. I think we're probably not going to pass 2026 because I think we will be bought out by a company. It could be Essilor also, if you think of it, because being our largest potential right now. Now, our accomplishments this year is very important. We responded to the Quebec RFP. We have our final release for the optical stores. It's in production today. We're ready to accelerate the revenue. As soon as we have Health Canada, it takes off. The Essilor agreement is signed for 3 years. We've added 5 tests to the one we had before. We have other business in Ontario, in Saudi Arabia. We have new distributors in other countries. And we're just waiting for our Health Canada request is in. We're just waiting for final approval. And we just did a successful financing of $4 million. So the company is well financed. We have contracts, and we have a very specific plan to actually maximize what we can do with the retina. Our break even is really around $3 million in revenue. So we know we're going to be profitable next year. In terms of our cap table, so our stock is around 30 to 33 cents. It fluctuates there. We have $3.5 million in cash, 95 million shares outstanding, stock options. We have a little bit of debt, but it's all convertible, so it's very good. And I have to apologize. The 2 million warrants it's 20 million warrants because of the last financing we did. So that's a typo. We have an analyst coverage from from Echelon Group that gives us a target during the next 12 months. They did a very thorough exercise by going to see all our competitors worldwide. This is a list of our competitors for people who are interested in looking at them, mainly US competitors. I'm going to finish with this. This was just a few images to show you. These are real live images of your back, your eye, your retina. So this is a diabetic that has no retinopathy. This is a bad image. You can see on the left, and we can actually reconstruct the image on the right. It's a very, very sick patient. So this patient has to be severe diabetic retinopathy has to be sent to the retina specialist or ophthalmologist within the next 30 days. These are other applications we help the optometrists with, looking at year 1, year 2, year 3. Right now, they can't do that. So the automatic detection and triage is what we do to help the doctors and the patients see good. If you don't do it, and one day you will wake up with one black stain in front of your eye, and you will go blind because there's no treatment once this happens. There's no treatment to touch the macula. So it's very important to get this test done on a yearly basis. So this is my presentation, and I'm open for questions.
Well, thank you very much for the presentation, André. That was very, very interesting. Company generating revenues on an IP based without big infrastructure or anything. So basically people, algorithm, and then getting out there. So let's go back a bit. Well, first off, what is your competitive advantage? Does other companies have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tests? What are the other guys doing?
I think the main competitive advantage is our competitors all went to, just in case you don't know, in the AI world, there's 2 types of AI. One is called autonomous AI, and the other one's called assisted AI. So the autonomous AI is really where you run the image and you actually have to take what comes out of the system. We went the other way. We went with assisted AI because a lot of the doctors, optometrists, didn't really like the AI approach. They don't like to be told what to do or what conclusion to be at. So we went the route of assisted AI. So at the FDA, there is a classification for assisted AI. Number 1, we are assisted AI. Number 2, we're the only ones that will be providing these 4 applications in the next 30 days in terms of tests. And we have 2 more, 6. We're the only one in the world that will offer these 6 different tests. Number 3, I mean, if you look at Essilor decided on Diagnos, a little company in Montreal with 20 employees, they did the worldwide survey and they actually evaluated all the competitors and they came back to us in Montreal. I think those are the 3 main competitive advantages we have.
Okay, it's good to hear. So let's walk back on how easy it is and how low the hurdle to get that test is. So basically, let's play a real scenario. I come in, I wear glasses, so very easy. I come into the shop, I'm like, well, listen, you need to check back, I need to adjust it. Maybe I see a little less good, not perfect view or so on, or I want to change model. So I'm there, I'm in the shop. What happens next?
Okay, well, a step before that. So let's say the optometrist, the optometry store decides to take our technology. We need to install it there. It takes about 15 minutes to train the site. It's all remote. Okay, there's no hardware. We just ship a little piece of software that goes on a laptop that sits beside these cameras. And that little software, its only function is to grab the image, ship it to our server, and ship it back to him. You come into the store, you have your annual review for your test for your eyesight. So you'll be sitting in front of 2 or 3 cameras anyway. One of the cameras will be a fundus camera. So it takes a flash. There's a flash and it takes a picture of the back of your eye. that image is sent right away to the laptop, to our servers, back to the laptop within 10 seconds. So by the time you go and sit with the optometrist to review your condition, he or she will have the result of our diagnostic that we've done on both your eyes, on the retina. And she can tell you if everything is okay or not okay. If you're not okay, you will be referenced to a ophthalmologist for review. It's that simple.
Exactly. So basically, it's a minimum cost. I'm surely taking those tests or having someone looking at my retina anyways, and so therefore it's just a matter of sitting there 2-3 more minutes. So there's really on the adoption level, we can really see that scaling up very, very quickly and very fast, because the number that you're putting out of how many tests can be done per day, well, you have to understand that each test is actually, it's only one set of images that you take, and then all the tests are done through it.
Yeah, one picture with the fundus camera can give you 5 tests, and the number 6 is with a different camera.
Okay, perfect. In regards still of, let's go a bit to the operation side. I have a few questions about that. So first off, you have the chance to have on your board someone that if you're not out of Quebec, you might not know. But can you tell us two, 3 words on how Mr. Philippe Couillard, previous Prime Minister of Quebec, joined your board, and what was the story about?
Yeah, he was a Prime Minister of Quebec, but that's not the reason why he's at Diagnos.
No, exactly.
He is a neurosurgeon.
Yeah.
So from a background, he was neurosurgeon. He was also Minister of Health for 5 years. I've known him for 11 years, and I just asked him recently if he would come on board because now we're ready. The risk in Diagnos is gone. We have the money, the technology works. We'll have approval in the next 30 days, hopefully by Health Canada. It's good business going to start up. And he actually thought of it for 1 second. He said, Andre, I'm in. So he came in because our technology is ready. We're selling this at a very low cost. What I want to do is to help everybody worldwide, poor or rich, it doesn't matter. What you need to do is to bring down the cost of anything that's in the healthcare as low as possible so that you can give access to everybody. You don't need to just wear glasses if you're diabetic or if you suffer from hypertension. You need to do this test. It's extremely important for your vision. You do not want to go blind, and it's not $10 on a 2-year basis that's going to make you break the bank. So it's low cost, it's accessible, it's fast, and that's another thing that Philippe Couillard really liked is that we're going in we Diagnos, we took all the right decisions, and now we're ready to go.
You also signed in the past few years very tier 1 clients, basically, that have those optometrist shops all around. What is the strategy to keep growing those numbers and keep making those strategic partner? And also that's on the private side, but also there seems to be brewing a lot of this government partnership. Can you tell us a bit the strategy on both sides and how it differs one from the other?
Yeah, so my strategy was to find a single customer with a group of optometrists to actually test build the interface for them, and because it's not the same interface as you would do in a hospital setting. And the optometrists are not looking for the same signs as a doctor is looking for. So we actually rebuilt that application. I was looking for a partner, and New Look stepped up to the board, and they had 450 stores. So it was very good for us in terms of getting, a pilot, but not with one site. So basically we have 30 sites that was part of our pilot. Pilot's finished. And we started pre-installing sites before we get Health Canada. Because in Canada, if you don't have Health Canada, you can't bill for the service. So now we have over 90 sites installed, ready to go when we have Health Canada. It's going to continue, installations continue every week. They're all done remotely, so it doesn't really affect the store. We don't disrupt their environment at all. So it's the same process patient goes through, except when they arrive in front of the fundus camera, the image are shipped to our site and we ship it back to them. That's the only change in terms of process. So it's seamless. It's easy. when Essilor was looking for a partner for a technology, it took about 3 years to in the process because it was at the end of the COVID process. And when we won it on a few bases. One, the technology. One was also our approach for the future, having 6 tests instead of 1. Most of our competitors only had 1 test for diabetic retinopathy, so they were aiming at that market. But what happened with the COVID, that market disappeared temporarily. It just disappeared because you could not bring diabetics into hospitals or clinics because they were very sensitive to the COVID virus. So that's one of the reasons why they picked Diagnos. We were ready to change, adapt, add more tests. And we gave them an exclusivity worldwide. So that gives me an access, for example, in Canada, to 130 salespeople I don't pay. In the US, we'll have about 1,500 salespeople. Worldwide, we're looking at, they have 300,000 customers. Well, 300,000 stores that they look after. So for me, I have a sales force that I don't pay for. So we're going to go from 2 salespeople to 134 just for Canada. And then we already have our site planned to, we're starting the US in January with a pilot to get the data for the FDA. We're filing FDA next week. I think we have all the things that we want, and our partner, Essilor, is behind us 100%.
Well, this is great to hear. There's going to be surely a lot more great news coming out from your company within the next few months. It is an amazing story. It is, I think, one of the good use of AI and buzzword into real case application scenario that actually saves lives and help improving quality of life. And this is normally in those buzzwords what you want. You want something tangible and a real solution that actually can be economical and can profit both the company, the customers, and shareholders. So André, I thank you very much for the presentation. We'll be very happy to continue following your stories, and best of luck in the next few months.
Merci, Julien, and merci to everybody out there. Thank you. And don't be shy. Buy yourself a share of Diagnos and save somebody's vision.
Perfect. Merci beaucoup, André.
Merci. Bye-bye.